Andy, I know you got older kids, so not really in the house anymore, but
Yeah.
we had back to school day here yesterday.
Oh, fun.
You go meet the teacher, drop off some school supplies, get ready for school starting next week.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
I do remember those days. I love those days.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. My daughter was really excited. She wanted to get a little dressed up and go meet her teacher. And teacher's new to the North Carolina, so it's kind of nice. And so
Are
it's
these teachers Dave? 'Cause that always makes a big difference. I feel like when you go in, like knowing the teams, I mean, knowing the teachers and things, or not, are they all new to
we
you?
we did not know this teacher at all,
Yeah.
because she was new. I just said that, so you should have been paying attention.
I thought
But
you meant new to you. I thought you meant new to you.
so, but it's interesting because my wife is a teacher.
Yeah.
She used to be a teacher in the physical schools. The last couple years, she's been what they call like these. For those who can't attend school, she does like in person and virtual. They call it homebound. For one reason or another, they may have medical issues or they may have some other
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
The schools still extend them services, and so my wife teaches virtually or in person at their homes. But when she used to work in the school, she used to know all the teachers,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so like that, like my daughter was a celebrity when she would go in. Oh, and so it was kind of different. But so to the long answer to your question was no, we did not know this teacher before, even though she is new. We would
Yeah.
have known her if my wife, so anyway, so
It's
but
fun.
it's fun.
The whole
It's
process.
exciting. The start of the school year is an exciting time. My other daughter started her, time at South Carolina, University of South Carolina this week too.
Yeah.
So, new experiences. A school year always is exciting to start off with.
It is, and one, it's an indicator towards your favorite time of the year, which is fall, because really you
Fall.
start to sort of mentally transition there. But two, I think for you and for any parents that are listening, I think whether it's the start of school or the longer holidays or the end of school, like that schedule and life adjustment is significant too, right? Things just change because they've got new requirements or less requirements at home or more at home, and it just changes everything. And it always took me a minute to make that pivot between. So I know it can be a little bit discombobulating. So good luck to you as you guys manage this transition for this fall. And I'm sure other parents are going through a similar sort of juggle, which is like both exciting and saddening in some respects when you go through it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it is like it's your schedule becomes okay, but get on the bus, or get up, breakfast, bus,
Yeah.
pick up from the bus stop. Well, I guess we don't have to really pick up much anymore because my daughter can just walk home. But yeah, it's definitely an adjustment of the school year again and get back into those routines. But what pisses me off? You mentioned another thing, Andy. That what pisses me off is like next week we still have a full week of August. I want it to be September 1st. I gotta wait another 9 days for that, Andy. It's driving me crazy. So.
You'll make it. You'll make it. Endure. There's good things between here and then that I've got to do. So,
Will I make it, Andy? I don't know. Will we all make it?
will any of us? Will any of us?
I'm not really quite sure. So, all right, Andy, fun little start opening
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk NFL. We've got our likes and dislikes, Andy. So I gotta come up with something between now, like to fill one segment of stuff here, Andy. And I'm not sure where to go. Do we talk about how like Trump is trying to meet in person now with North Korea while they're continuing to provide stuff to Russia that continue to get used against North Korea or Ukraine? Do we want to talk about
Well,
like
before you even leave that, in case we don't get to this, before you even leave it,
yeah,
North Korea, who is like numerous reports, not even in like mainstream media, North Korea who is attacking American businesses, North Korea who is supporting Russia against Ukraine, North Korea who is supporting Iran, North Korea who is shooting missiles into the ocean to threaten South Korea and saying they couldn't care less about the president's last little gesture. This North Korea is a North Korea that President Trump wants to go sit on the lap of and beat off. Just please continue. I just wanted to point that out in case we don't get back to it. That's the North Korea that is now our bestie.
Andy, do you think this is some 4D chess move where he's
No,
trying to make these public pronouncements so that he can orchestrate the cease the end of the war in North Korea after 60 years? Stephen Miller has said, like, look at all the things that this president has done that have been generational things. Maybe it's he could add his 15th war that he stopped, Andy. I don't know.
maybe Dave, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
4D chess, the
yeah,
president playing like low, unbelievable.
yeah.
Okay, so we have that. We have this Natalie Hap thing still going on, Andy. And the more and more that comes out about this, the fucking batshit crazier it becomes. She's hiding in trunks. She's racing with golf carts to stay up to speed. This, like, what self-respecting individual, and male or female, because this happens every on both sides,
Yeah, oh yeah.
male and female, what self-suspecting individual goes to this length to cower favor with somebody who is so vilely despised? Like, at what level are you at? And it just really like we go back, and again, I'm not going to connect the two necessarily, but she was like a riser in this like local, like, I don't know, conservative movement on college campuses and so on and so forth. And she came up to, like, at what point are you so invested? Like, I don't know, Andy. It just
Yeah,
fucking.
well, we can come, we might be able to come back and talk with this new topic. What else you got? What else you got in your bag of tricks? What else?
Okay, what else I got in my bag of tricks, Andy? I had a couple things I wanted to do on my likes and dislikes. So let's do, Andy. I'm not gonna. It was gonna be a I was struggling on whether this was gonna be a like or dislike, but Bank of America announced this last week that they're updating their return to office policy,
Yeah,
where you can't. It's batshit crazy again that we're talking about return to office. Like, COVID's been over now for a couple years. We should all be back in the office if you work in office buildings. But you cannot remote working. You cannot do 2 consecutive days. So what that means is you cannot do Friday and Monday.
mm,
So effectively, a 4-day weekend when you're remote working, and then you work Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the office. People are going losing their mind over this. And I did what I was going to argue about is I dislike when some people get on LinkedIn or wherever and start, standing on the holier than thou, high performing teams.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter if you're in the office or out of the office, you should do whatever is best. I'm like, hey, look, if I'm the owner of a company and I say you need to work in the office, then you're fucking working in the office or don't work here. Like, you have freedom of choice to work wherever you want. I just hate these people who get pissy with corporate policies. Like, fucking leave then. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It just so I was struggling with whether that's a dislike or a like. I was leaning towards I like that Bank of America did this. I don't know. So
All right. We can get into that one too, Dave. There's a lot of topics here. We can hit them. Dave, why don't we do the Dave Pounder speed round? Like as listeners listen to us go through our cutting room floor, I often get asked, do you guys prep ahead of time? I was like, well, we talk through a lot of it, but we don't actually know exactly what we're going to do until we go live, right? So we have notes and we know where we're going, but we don't know exactly where we're going. So let's just go through it. Let's do a speed round. Quick thoughts on your key topics. Then we'll come back and
okay.
address some of them more deliberately that deserve more deliberate addressing next week.
Okay, all right, here we go, Amy. All
Let's
right,
do it.
where do you stand on the Bank of America decision? Just give me your two
It's
cents.
it, it's their call. I think it's their decision, and you have to comply with the decision. I think it is not unreasonable to ask for a return office. Um, I think that doing it on the suspicion of people doing the wrong thing is unfortunate, but they have the discretion to do what they want.
Okay, all right, good. All right, Lindsey Graham's Senate seat, Andy.
Yes.
They had a they had a debate on this, Andy,
Yeah.
and Trump has anointed Lindsey Graham's sister to fill this, but didn't quite work out so well. So she's got to go through the nomination process. They had a debate, Andy, and she basically said foreign policy just isn't my thing.
Yeah.
What? Andy, thoughts here? I give you the floor.
I think you have to go back for one and look at like what was the rationale for nominating her in the
in the
first place?
yeah.
That Trump wanted her, that the governor appointed her, right? Because she's in an acting capacity right now, right? She is serving in that role right now, pursuing the Republican nomination to run for office, right? So this brings like, what are you doing? Who are you putting in the Senate, right? Foreign policy is a key part of national security, is a key part of anyone serving in Congress, House, Senate, whatever it is. And she just shrugged it off like, oh well, I'm not really into national security. You need to have a basic understanding of national security. You should be able to answer basic questions about national security if you're going to serve in that role, right? It was hugely embarrassing. And then when she was asked about it later in follow-on conversation, she was basically saying, "Look, the people of South Carolina are more concerned about transgender people in sports than national security." Are they? Like, really? Are they? Is that a bigger concern? Is that one transgender individual trying to play on whatever sports team really a bigger concern than potentially China's invasion of Taiwan and the U.S. response to that situation? Is that really how South Carolina weighs things? Dave, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe that is South Carolina's priority. And if so, that's exactly why we have such stupid elections and such horrific people elected to office, because we don't have our priorities right. We don't understand what Congress's job is. And if we're putting people in the Senate to weigh in on transgender sports issues, we're all kinds of fucked up. She is an embarrassment. They should pull her idea for nomination, but they can't now. It's too late. She's in the runoff for the nomination for the Republican Party, which will whoever wins the nomination will probably win the election. And so hopefully people in South Carolina look and say, hey, maybe not so fast. I've got confidence in South Carolina, Dave. I've got confidence in the American people. I think South Carolina might pull the plug on this.
Okay. Your faith in the voter might be, as Yoda would say, like might be a little bit misguided. Okay, Andy, a story coming out just recently, and we did not talk about this because I just saw it today. Navy is discussing renaming an aircraft carrier after Donald Trump instead of Doris Miller,
Yeah,
who was famously a African American sailor during World War II, shot down Japanese aircraft and saved others during Pearl Harbor. Um, what the fuck? And he like how
disgusting.
many? This is this, and the aircraft carrier is being built, and the name that was selected by Trump in his first term was Doris Miller, and now the Navy is thinking about renaming it for Trump. Like, what the loyal? We got to get rid of this fucking putting Trump's name and face everywhere. Fuck
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's disgusting. The idea of doing this for a sitting president is disgusting. The idea that this president wants to put his name on everything is disgusting. Look, like we can't stop it. We can't stop SecDef, Pete Hegseth from trying to, please his master and go along with all this nonsense. And that's what we're seeing here. But look, whatever happens with this bullshit, when the next president comes into office, may we have a thorough cleansing, get rid of all the gold, get rid of all the Trump branding, return this country to being a more modest and humble country, a more modest and humble presidency, get back to normalcy, and help us recognize and remember that the White House and the Oval Office are not about any one person. They're about this country and the person that's going to serve this country as our champion public servant, not the other way around. This is disgusting. It's disgusting. And look, we can't stop this president from being an absolute maniac and obsessed with his own name, but we can change it, and we need to. This all needs to just be erased.
All right. So I just want to hit those up real quick, Andy. Now I want to go. Let's go to some enjoyable topics.
Yeah.
Let's go to the NFL, Andy. So
Okay. Well, just one thing. Going back to
y-
to to to, to Natalie, the
yeah,
president's girlfriend. Like, just for those that haven't, just it's uncomfortably creepy how much she looks like his daughter. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. Okay, we can come back and talk to this more another time, but it's like
uh,
there's so much to be uncomfortable with about the whole situation. But that part is really like, okay, let's talk football. Let's talk football.
it's very creepy, Andy. And like again, like what level are you at to curry favor for what do you think is going to happen here? It got to the point where Melania had to come out we haven't seen Melania in like fucking a year, it
Yeah.
seems like, or whenever she had that other surprise press conference where she showed up. Like, this is like, could there be anything more fucking, hey, we got to get out in front of this. We got to put Melania out in the Rose Garden. You miss me? It's so funny that you have all these people who are anti-immigration and they've like Melania has a rich accent. Nothing wrong with that. I have
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
But like, and then you have fucking Vance's wife, who's very distinguished. She's Indian. Yeah,
yeah,
like it's funny that you have all these people putting these policies in place and they hate immigrants, but yet there you go. So,
yeah.
okay, Andy, let's go. I want to do this, Andy. I'm
Okay.
gonna give you I'm gonna give you the division. We're gonna do rapid fire through these divisions. Just tell
Okay.
me, like, what are you looking for this year from that division? Okay, we'll do predictions later. Okay.
Okay. So what am I? I'm giving you what, like just what I'm
Like,
expecting.
what do you think from that's gonna like? Is there a storyline in this division this
Okay.
year?
I got it.
Like,
I
for
got it.
example, I'm gonna say AFC East, and I'm gonna say, look, can the Patriots do it again with a harder schedule? And
Yeah.
what's left in the Bills' tank? Because Josh Allen's been peak for 4 years now. Maybe does he start sliding or does he keep growing? He's got a big grow. He's got big expectations there. New stadium. But is it too late for him now?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
my thought. What's your thought on the AFC East, Andy?
It's all about two teams. It's all about two teams. It's about the Bills and the Patriots. The Jets are maybe a spoiler, but it's really about two teams. And the story of the AFC East continues to be the Bills and the Patriots. A lot of my take on this coming season going in is that not a lot has changed since last season, really. As I looked at it and thought about it, it's
Yeah.
largely the same storylines, and that's one of the same storylines.
Okay. All right. AFC North, Andy. Last year,
Yeah,
this was supposed to be the top division. It became the one of the most mediocre divisions. Baltimore missed the playoffs. The
yeah.
Steelers were, just barely over 500 in the, and Cincinnati, the Super Bowl run from years ago, that feels like a distant memory. Uh, can this division rebound is what I'm looking for. But
I think so. I surprisingly think so. The Browns are not in contention for anything, right? But this division has to look at new coaches, and can new coaches come in and instantly move these teams forward? I think the answer is yes. I think Baltimore remains a massive threat, and I think, look, I think we go in every season saying this maybe, but the Bengals have beefed up their line a little bit. Joe Burrow is still, I think sometimes we forget how good he is. And I think this is one of the top divisions in football. I think there's some real threats here. And the Steelers, if their coaching is decent under Mike McCarthy, remain potentially a surprising pain in the ass for other teams. Because look, we joke about McCarthy a lot, but he's been around. Aaron Rodgers has been around. There is some young talent on this team, and they could cause some surprises. So I think the AFC North is actually surprisingly strong and interesting.
okay. AFC South, can Jacksonville do it again? Look, we started Indianapolis was 8-1, I think, or 8-2, and then they fell off a cliff. Jacksonville had a strong end to their season. Can they do it again, or maybe Houston sneak back in there? CJ Stroud, a lot of questions around his performances. So let's see if he can do it. What thoughts here on this division, Andy?
Yeah, I think when we get into like predictions, we'll get more into some of it. But I think again, continuing from last year, this division still sucks, right? This division
You
still
still think
sucks.
it sucks. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This division still sucks. Houston, interesting potential. Jags, interesting potential. Titans, interesting story. Colts, Daniel Jones, can it be an interesting story? Maybe, 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 maybe. The division sucks.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. AFC West, Andy, the only storyline I'm thinking here is Patrick Mahomes coming back from injury. And does he have enough weapons to be competitive in this division, Andy? That's a huge divergent path from where they were over the last 6, 7 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot more questions around Kansas City than we have had in a long time. But at the same time, same story as last year. This division's about three teams, none of which are called the Raiders, and it could go any way, right? The Broncos are better than they ever have been. The Chiefs remain very potentially talented and threatening, and the Chargers are always, this could be their year, probably won't make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Justin Herbert,
Yeah.
Herbert, I don't know. Well, I'm going to butcher it every week. The
Herb,
stat
Herb.
nerds love him, but he's not performed when it really matters, Andy. So,
Yeah,
okay, let's go to the NFC. NFC East,
yeah,
Andy.
yeah.
Could the Cowboys return to the playoffs? My vote is they've got a sneaky good team, but I think this AFC East is anybody's division, Andy, frankly.
Well, I'll say I think the Eagles go in with pole position. I think they're in the best place. I think they're the strongest team, and I think they should be uniquely positioned to win the division for the third time in a row, which hasn't happened since the Eagles did it in the beginning of the 2000s. And I think they will. I think the Eagles will win the division. But the Cowboys are dangerously good. Like we have to be honest about it. Again, new coaching, you don't know how it's going to go, right? But their defense is better than it has been. Micah Parsons aside, the Cowboys are legitimate. I think they are legitimate, but the challenge for them, I think the division is actually pretty good, and the Commanders
Yeah.
could be surprisingly good. The Giants could be surprisingly good, and so they could beat each other up a lot, which could hurt their ability to get in the playoffs. But I think again, we'll come back for predictions later. But I think this division is actually maybe the best it's been in a long time.
All right. Your NFC North, Andy.
Yeah,
This is the toughest division in football. The question for me is, are they going to just beat the shit out of each other, or is
yeah.
one going to rise to the top? Ooh, it's going to be a great battle all year, Andy, in this division.
Yeah, the black and blue division is going to be miserably black and blue. These teams are going to just obliterate each other. It's going to be grueling. I think this is maybe not the best division in football, but one of the top two for sure. And it's going to be wild. Like these are all really good teams. The Vikings maybe not, but also maybe they do really well, right? Maybe Kyler Murray does a good job. Maybe this team is decent, and so there's a lot of storylines in this division, including the aforementioned Micah Parsons and his eventual return to the football field, which could change the dynamics mid-season. This is going to be a really, really great division to watch. I'm really excited for it. I think my Lions are going to do it, but it's going to be tough, man.
Okay. Two more to go. NFC South, Carolina amazingly won the division last year, made the playoffs. They played the Rams pretty competitive in that playoff game, too. Can they do it again, or is Baker Mayfield going to do it? Or what about Tyler Shuck and the New Orleans Saints,
Yeah,
Andy?
yeah.
This is
So
going to be a fun one.
it is going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun one. But look, Aerosmith has a great song. I think came out in 1975. Same old song and dance. And that's where we are, the NFC South, the worst division in football, the least threatening division in football. Nobody thinks that one of these teams is going to win the Super Bowl. They're all terrible. Yeah, somebody's going to win, and sometimes they're going to look good because they're playing each other. But this division is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So the South, you have the South as being absolutely abysmal. So good. Okay, Andy, last one, NFC North, NFC West. This would probably be the best division were it not for the Arizona Cardinals, Andy. But can the repeat? Can the Seahawks repeat? That's the end of the storyline there, or is it going to be another one of those division teams, Andy?
Yeah, so I think this is the best division in football, better than the North, only because of there's just three powerhouses here that are all really dangerous. Dave, we have maybe the best football team, maybe ever, in the Los Angeles Rams. Like this team could be a nightmare all season long. They could be unreal. They're very good, and they're so good that we're not really talking about the defending Super Bowl champions who, yeah, there have been some changes. We've talked about a little bit already this year, but they're still the defending Super Bowl champions, and they're maybe the number two team, maybe the number three team because the Niners are also really good. So yeah, nobody's expecting the Cardinals to do much of anything. The Cardinals could go with a goose egg on the season this year. That team is not in good shape, but those other three teams are so strong that like this division is just going to be brutal. I mean, I was putting a word to describe each division, and just formidable is the only one I could think of for this division. It's just so hard to beat. Like these teams are really, really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So, okay, Andy, that was a good little teaser for what
Yeah.
will be our NFL coverage as we go through the year. All right, let's go to likes and dislikes of the week. So I think I went first last week, but Andy, where are you going to go with your dislike of the week?
My dislike of the week, bring us back a little bit to politics here. Look, reports came out midweek here. We believe there's over 750 wounded in action serving in Operation Epic Fury. Over 750 Americans wounded in action, right? Almost 20 fatalities. Meanwhile, as these numbers come out, the President of the United States is escorting the media, following him in tow, showing off his new helipad at the White House like a gleeful child celebrating his new toys, crying and whining for his ballroom, while Americans continue to serve, get wounded, and die in a war the president today is just sort of dismissing, just like we're past it, right? The Strait of Hormuz, that's ours now. It's open. It's fine. We're talking North Korea now. Like we're done. And Dave, I know you said it 1,000 times, but we can't say it enough. Like we've achieved absolutely nothing positive in this war. And for the President of the United States to look parents in the eye, which he won't do because he's a coward and a piece of shit, but to look parents in the eye and explain to them why their son or daughter was wounded serving, why their son or daughter died in service for this man's war, I mean, it's horrific, it's disgusting, and it's much more than my dislike of the week.
That's well played, Andy. I mean, it's well played. It's funny when he doesn't want to talk about things. He's such a media whore
Yeah,
that he lambasts them, but he also wants them to come and taking them out to show all the great things that he's done around the White House and how bad it was. Like, just fucking embarrassing.
gross.
Embarrassing. So, okay, that was your dislike of the week, Andy. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I had a couple things I disliked of the week. I had the Bank of America thing. I had we were talking about Puffer Pete campaigning.
Yeah,
That was a big dislike that I was struggling with. But Andy, I settled for the national debt, Andy.
yeah. Oh,
It came out this week. The national debt is $40 trillion. So people go, well, why do I care about that? Why do I care? Well, Andy, think about if you have a credit card and you've run it up. So you run it up, you keep running it up and running it up. You're paying interest on that every month. That interest that you're paying on is money that you could be using to pay your bills, your day-to-day bills, or doing fun things or investing in your future. Instead, we're paying interest monthly on things that would cover Medicaid and Medicare. And who knows, it could provide health care for all or fund Social Security for years ahead. That money we're paying monthly is not going to America. It's going to pay down because we have people who cannot control their spending habits. And
yeah,
so it does impact us
yeah,
every single day,
yeah.
Andy. And people and to not be and I want to go back in 2016 before candidate Trump said if our debt gets to 24 trillion, it would be catastrophic and we would be just like Greece. It went from that under before he came into office, 20 trillion to it doubled in 10 years. Now, Biden was in there too. We had COVID too. Get it. I got it. We also had all these wars. Andy, and I also sent you in in 2000, Andy, we had no budget deficit.
Yeah,
None.
yeah,
None.
yeah,
And I didn't like Clinton. I didn't like Gingrich. I didn't like any of those fuckers. But we had no budget deficit.
yeah.
And here we go. What happened, Andy? Endless wars, bullshit like bailouts, all these things that we've done. Who's been fucked over? These guys, the American public.
And our
So,
future, Dave, and our
and our
future.
future.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
That's my dislike, Andy.
Yeah, it's right on, Dave. Look, that's a whole podcast of its own if we want to really get into it. But the selfishness of this generation is unreal, right? Whereas our founders looked to posterity and tried to create something that would protect and defend the future. our absolute disregard for the future and to bankrupt our future and our children and our grandchildren, reckless, reckless shame of both parties, right? There's a chance now for some of these young Democrats to come out and maybe say, look, we are also guilty of this as a party, and we need to fix this. We need to get our budget under control and live responsibly, and they're not. And it's a shame. It's a shame because we're hurting our future.
Yep, I definitely am there with you. So, okay, Andy, where are you going for your like of the week?
Dave, going somewhere different with my like of the week this week. Dave Pounder on Wednesday talking about hitting the wall and fighting through it with accepting some humility, but committing to trying to do what you want to do to be your best self. That's my like of the week because we all hit the
Oh
wall, we all
man.
fall off the horse, but we get back on it. So, Dave, your recognition of, hey, I got off track and I'm going to try and get back on track and maybe get back off track again because that happens. But trying to fight for yourself, that's my like of the week.
Oh, Andy, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Coming from you, you bald-headed bastard. You know, that's great. So, okay, my like of the week, Andy, I've been hitting on these a couple times.
Who are you hitting on?
Investigative journalism, Andy. I've been hitting on journalists for a lot recently, and it's because despite all the shit that's been happening, they have come up, they've talked about the things like the Abraham Lincoln. They've talked about concerns of this Natalie Harp thing, and she didn't have a security clearance. Anyway, but I want to talk about something else, and it was these sleuthers out there. The Eric Swaldwell thing, the
Yeah,
congressman from California. It was individuals who raised concerns up to bloggers and to these individuals out on the internet that really got the his abuse of women and manipulation of women out in the public. And now, Andy, I'll give the FBI a little credit here. I've shit on them a lot because I think under Cash they really fucked their priorities. But now they're finding some other allegations here, and they've confiscated electronic equipment. Why? Because there's allegations of potential misconduct related to his relationship with a woman who may, be involved with another country. Thank God that these things are happening, Andy, because we still have people out there committed to truth and justice and getting this shit out. And look, he's just the tip of the iceberg. He was so blatant about it. I mean, he had to get caught.
yeah,
The- there are other people out there all that this is happening all the time. And so, like to the journalists out there, to those sleuthers, I want to like you for the weekend because this
yeah,
guy, this shitbag deserves to be in jail, and I hope he gets it in there.
yeah.
So
He was almost in the governor's mansion, and this
I,
derailed that, and this
that
derailed that.
that's exactly right, Andy.
Yeah,
He was almost in the governor's mansion. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Good one, Dave. And I'll say, I hope that similar justice comes regarding the Epstein files.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So all right, Andy, we went a little longer today, but it was a good conversation. So um,
All right.
all
Turn the
right.
page.
Well,
Congrats on starting the school year.
yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you for the like of the week too. A shout out. So, all right, Andy, have a good weekend. Enjoy the things you're gonna do or don't do, but don't do anything I wouldn't do. That's for sure. Um, Andy, with that, I will catch up with you Monday.